Just a few lines. Thank you for trying to help, but I can't forgive you for what happened. Don't contact me. Margaret kept that letter in a shoebox at the back of her closet for 33 years. The years that followed, life moved on, the way it always does. Margaret and Robert left Fort Wayne and moved to Greenfield. They had their 2 boys, built a life that looked normal from the outside. But Margaret carried the weight of that December with her everywhere. She thought about Caroline constantly, wondered if she was okay, if she was alive, if she ever thought about that night. Margaret tried to find her once, about 10 years later. She hired a private investigator who tracked Caroline to a small town outside Columbus. But when Margaret drove there, parked across the street from the address she'd been given, she couldn't bring herself to knock. She saw Caroline through the window, older, thinner, alone. Margaret drove home and never went back. The guilt was a constant companion. It sat with her at the dinner table. It whispered in her ear when she prayed. It woke her up at 3 a.m, heart pounding, replaying every detail of that night. She never told Robert the full truth, never told her sons, never told anyone. But unresolved stories don't disappear. They wait for witnesses. And in 2019, something shifted. Margaret started seeing news stories about women coming forward with their own experiences. Stories about back alley procedures, about survival, about the choices women were forced to make in the shadows. She watched these women speak on TV, their faces blurred, their voices distorted, but their words clear and strong. And for the first time in decades, Margaret wondered if she should speak too. But she didn't, because there was something else, something she'd never told anyone, something that made her story more complicated. Doris, the woman who'd performed the procedure on Caroline, had been found dead 3 weeks after that Christmas. Her body was discovered in her home by a neighbor. The official cause of death was ruled a heart attack, but there were rumors, whispers in the community, that someone had wanted her silenced, that she knew too much about too many people. Margaret always wondered if Caroline's case had something to do with it, if someone had connected the dots, if the police had ever looked into it. But she never asked, never followed up, because asking meant risking exposure, and exposure meant losing everything. The knock, which brings us back to Christmas Eve, 2022. Margaret had spent the day alone. Her sons called in the morning, both of them, asking if she was okay, if she needed anything. She told them she was fine. She made herself a small dinner, turkey breast, mashed potatoes, green beans. She ate in front of the TV,